Welcome back to Darker Things, where we dive into the shadows of true crime. Today, we're exploring the twisted tale of Drew Peterson, a former police sergeant whose life took a dark turn. Peterson's story isn't just a headline, it's a chilling reminder of the darkness that can hide behind even the most respected facades. Drew Walter Peterson was born on January 5th, 1954, in Bolingbrook, Illinois. He seemed like any other kid growing up in a Chicago suburb running cross country in high school. After a brief stint in the Army, Drew joined the Bolingbrook Police Force in 1977. Over the next 30 years, he carved out a career that seemed respectable on the surface, earning accolades like Police Officer of the Year. But beneath the badge lay a different story. Peterson's personal life was a tumultuous ride through four marriages, each marked by increasing control and darkness. His first marriage to Carol Brown ended in divorce after she discovered his infidelity. His second wife, Vicky Connolly, alleged a history of domestic abuse, revealing that Drew had threatened her life. But it was his third marriage to Kathleen Savio that turned truly tragic. Married in 1992, the couple's relationship was fraught with tension and violence. In 2004, Kathleen was found dead in a dry bathtub, with bruises and a gash on her head. Initially ruled an accidental drowning, her death raised many eyebrows, especially when Drew's fourth wife, Stacy Ann Peterson, disappeared in 2007. Stacy was just 19 when she married 49-year-old Drew. Her family noticed a disturbing change in her demeanor. She became isolated and fearful. On October 28, 2007, Stacy vanished without a trace. Drew claimed she left him for another man, but her family and the public were skeptical. Stacy's disappearance reignited interest in Kathleen Savio's mysterious death, leading to a second autopsy that revealed Kathleen's death was a homicide. The trial was nothing short of a media spectacle. Drew, always maintaining his innocence, faced a mountain of evidence, including statements from Stacy to her divorce attorney, suggesting that Drew confessed to killing Kathleen. The prosecution's case was compelling, built on forensic evidence, expert analysis, and key witness testimonies. In 2012, Drew was convicted of Kathleen Savio's murder and sentenced to 38 years in prison. One man, four wives, a serial husband, leaving behind three divorces, one death, and a disappearance. Drew Peterson has gone from being a person of interest to a clear suspect. Drew Peterson, cocky, arrogant, serving 38 years for killing his third wife, he remains suspected of murdering his fourth. And now he's on trial again, allegedly plotting to kill the man who put him behind bars. The Drew Peterson story is full of surprises. It never stops. Stacy Peterson disappeared without a trace in 2007. Stacy Peterson, a 23-year-old mother of two, was reported missing. She was last seen wearing a red jogging suit. Her story made headlines with new allegations about her disappearance. A soap opera of sorts, Stacy was the fourth wife of Drew Peterson, who became the sole suspect in her disappearance.
I remember the last picture I took of her, and I remember the hug. She was so full of life. So it's a very precious memory.
Forever etched in Candace Egan's mom was vision of Stacy Peterson. She would never see her niece again. Although as fate would have it, she would set her eyes on Peterson.
He looked right at me and smiled and called my name. He's very jovial and, making jokes. I don't understand where he's really coming from, how he can be so happy.
Some people could argue that, of course, Stacy Peterson's aunt would take her side or be scared of Drew. But what would Drew and Stacy Peterson's pastor have to say about the man?
I believe 100% that Drew Peterson killed Stacy. One day he said, "You know, Neil, what's interesting about me is I've done a lot of bad things in my life and I've gotten away with all of them." To me, that was his safest way of admitting to her death without actually admitting it.
The web is sobering thought indeed. Some people say we may never know the truth. One thing's for certain, the curtain has closed on Drew Peterson's act of innocence. Goes to show you that facades cannot be trusted. Until next time, I'm your host, Duck Duncan, reminding you that once you enter the dark, you may never be the same.